What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Base Damage. Hope you're all having a great day today. Today, I wanted to bring to you a little bit of an upgrade. I say upgrade, but more of a future-proofing type thing for the Pure Nino 8 standby deck. And what I mean by future-proofing is, I'm going to go ahead and show it on screen. This particular level 3 Nino, it is by far the better Climax combo. It is a very powerful card. It counts as a standby trigger if one of the particular standby Climaxes is in play. It has burn, it has on play heal. It is so fucking good. It is a really, really good card. However, the quintuplet set hasn't really been hit that hard on the restricted list. But I think most people kind of speculate it was because Bushi was waiting for the movie set to drop. So now that the movie set has dropped, we're probably, more than likely, this card's going to get hit. In JP, it is limited to 2 copies, which isn't the worst in the world, but it does greatly restrict like the consistency and everything. So you can still do stuff with it, but it really hurts the consistency in my mind. You really want a play set of this card if you can run it. And I will just run this card until the end of time. But if it does get hit, I wanted to have a backup option. So I decided to work on this a little bit, and we have a very interesting mix of cards in here. There's 3 other particular standby combos with all of the Nino cards. So this is still 8 standby. But in what is already being run is this particular level 2, which we'll get to this in a second. But this one, in the movie set, they also have this new level 1, which actually can be a very good standby target in general. And this new level 3, it's an uncommon. And we'll get to each of the effects in a second, but I figured it's best to future-proof it in case the other level 3 gets hit to be able to replace it with this level 3 right here. You can just replace, for the Climax combos, you can just run the new level 1 Climax combo. It is very good, but once again, this is more future-proofing than anything. Because this particular level 1 Nino is, I think, the second most expensive card from the movie set, so it's sitting at about $4 to $5 a piece right now. I was able to swipe up a couple copies for like $2 a piece when it first dropped, so I got lucky on that. But it is sitting at about $4 to $5-ish a piece. So depending on your budget, depending on whether you can pick those up or not, that's up to you. But if you only want to grab a couple copies, this can be a very interesting standby target. We'll get to that in a second. But let's just continue with the rest of the deck. There have been a couple interesting little changes and additions. I did bump up from the previous deck build, which I will put a link for the previous deck build in the description if you want to do some comparisons on your own. That's up to you. Before, I was only running 2 copies of this. We're running 3 copies of this 3295 Pure Wish Nino Nakano. During your turn, if all of your characters have Nino, which the entire deck is, it gets an extra 4k power, making it a 13-5. During your turn, when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you can pay 1 stock to burn your opponent for 1. A little bit extra, a little bit more trying to get the burn effects to go off to try to, kill your opponent and everything, because you don't have the burn effect from the other level 3. So then this is from the movie set, 2 copies of Unparalleled Beauty Nino Nakano, so 3285. This replaced the Santa Claus one, and this is just really cool because because of so many other decks like standbying stuff out or just early playing stuff. This is a very neat early play condition of if your opponent has a level 3 or higher character, this gets minus a level in your hand. You don't particularly need this to pop off, but if it does, cool, it's an extra little thing. Because it has 2 interesting effects. It's one, it's a heal on play, and if you have 2 or more other quintuplets characters, it gets 2500 power, making her 11k, and a character encore of just discard a quintuplets character. You can't discard Futaro for her, Big Sag. But this is pretty interesting early play condition. The last time I saw this was on a Darkness from Konosuba, but this can still easily be done. It doesn't matter. And if you don't early play her, it doesn't matter. You can just hardcast her at level 3 to get the heals. So that's because you do want the heals, because this heals, but the new level 3 does not. 2 copies of this Intimate Sisters Nino Nakano, so 324k, 2k assist in front, on play, draw 2, pitch 1, and when a character you control becomes standing during your climax phase or your attack phase, you get to look at up to 2 cards from the top of the deck, put them on the top of your deck in any order, then choose a character. It gains 2k power for the turn. Now, both of your climax combos for this particular build proc that last effect. So the new level 3 added is this 3/2 10/5 our resolve Nino Nakano. First off, all of your other quints get 1500 power. That's no matter whether she's in center stage or backstage. So if you are at level 2 and you swing and you want to just drop a copy of her into the back row, you can. And then she still gives a global 15 in general. She doesn't have to be in center stage for it, which is really nice. During your climax phase, when this is placed on stage by the effect of Declaration of War over Love, which is this particular epic pointing standby, you get to sack the standby to stand this card, and then all of your characters get the following ability until end of turn. When this card attacks, look at up to 2 cards on the top of your deck, choose 1 card amongst them, put it on top of your deck, and put it on the rest into your waiting room. Being able to choose what your crit triggers are, or what you trigger, is really nice. Whether you want to trigger another standby or you want to just, make certain your stock is queen. So, but being able to stand itself is really nice because the level 2 does the same thing. So, lastly, for the level 3s, and I've considered bumping this up just to have a little bit extra. You can run more copies of this if you want. I'm honestly tempted to bump this to 2 and drop this to 1. But because both of the combos in the deck work off the characters standing themselves, it just kind of works out a little bit better with this one, but this is very nice. So 3/2 75 quintuplicate trails Nino. 2k assist to all Nino characters in front of her. It basically ends up doing the same thing as the other, so it's kind of whatever. This heals on play though, and it has an act. If all of your characters are Nino, you can pay 2, rest this card, put the bottom 3 cards of your opponent's deck into the waiting room, deal X damage to your opponent, X is equal to the number of climaxes amongst those cards. A little bit extra burn, which is why I've considered bumping this up to 2. Probably will in the long run, just going ahead and staying right now. Just as far as like doing the testing and whatnot, 1 has been perfectly fine, but this could go up to 2 just because. So that way you're getting burn off of this and then burn off of the other level 3 to try to finish out and like try to end the game that way. It's really fun when you can end the game during your main. So then we get to the level 2s. This 2/2 7k Wholehearted Maiden Nino Nakano. This is just so strong. This is such a powerful card. If all of your characters are quints, it gets the following 2 abilities. 1, Character Encore, and during your turn, it gets plus 5k power. It's offensively, it's a 12k. During your climax phase, if when it's placed on the field by Unstoppable Feelings, which is this particular one, she's whispering, you get to sack the climax, and then stand this card, once again procking the other level 3, just stating. And if you do, this gets 1000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. So you can summon this out at level 1, and it comes out at a 13k. That's getting over a lot of shit, let's be real. Honestly, that's getting over most Alice combos unless they have like the 3k backups. So if you have some more buffing cards on top of that, you can get over that anyway. And there's other good cards in this deck to let you do that. Defensively, she's a lot weaker, but she has the Character Encore to make up for it. Whatever. 4 copies I feel is mandatory. Then to round out the level 2s, definitely wanted to keep a copy of this in here. So 2/1, 2500 backup, Firm Resolve Nino. When you use this card's backup, if you have 4 or more quints, you can pay an extra 2 stock, choose one of your opponent's characters with a level higher than their level, and put it into their waiting room. So anti-change, you don't have to sack cards from hand, you just pay extra stock, it doesn't matter. Then we have 2 copies. 1 copy of Secretly Being Helped. I've wanted to bump this up to 2 copies. It's a 2/1 2500 backup. When you use this card's backup, if you have 5 or more characters with Nino, which is the entire deck, you can pay 1, pitch 1. If you do, deal 2 damage to your opponent. If it weren't for the fact that I want to have the anti-change in here, just in case the opponent has some shenanigans, some fuckery going on, I would bump this up to 2 in a heartbeat, just to try to just fuck with your opponent. And they're like, oh, I've seen you drop this once. I don't know if you can still burn me at level 3 or not, which is just hilarious. Once again, if you can burn them for game with this, would be great. I've honestly contemplated just dropping the level 1 backups altogether, but it's too useful, especially with the change that I did to level 1. So very tempted to just drop this and bump this up to like 2 or something. But then we get to the level 1s. There was another 1/1 that ended up being a 7500 with Character Encore. This basically does something similar. The other one was just constant 7500, whereas offensively, this gets bigger. If all of your characters are quints, this gets 1500 power, making it a 6/5 to begin with. During your turn, this gets 2k power and character, and it also just has character encore constantly. So defensively, it's a 6/5, just like the other level 1 that is the blue one. But offensively, it's an 85. So it's a little bit bigger, and it can help you get over some stuff in the long. This is the other climax combo. We don't run the climax for this, but it's worth mentioning, so I'll go ahead and state it. When this attacks, if Stealthy Strong Attack, which is also a standby, is in your climax area and you have another quince, look up to 2 cards from the top of your deck, choose 1 card amongst them, put it on top of your deck, put the rest into your waiting room, and this gets the ability until end of turn. When the battle opponent becomes reversed, you can salvage back a character. I don't particularly want to have to do the salvage thing, but if you want to run this combo over the level 3 or the level 2, do whatever you want. I've seen a lot of people swap up, still running the old level 3 that I said might get hit, and running this as the 2 combos now. But once again, like I said, I'm future-proofing this in case the level 3 gets hit. I'm trying to go based around that. So you can run this. I got a playset of it for that exact reason. You can run this and it's really strong. But in case you want a different flavor, that's up to you. 3 copy, and once again, like you said, you can run it without the climax combo because it's a good standby target in general. Then we have 3 copies of this 1/1. Why So Guarded, Nino Nakano? If you have 2 or more other quints, it gains 2k power, making it a 65 constant. And if the character facing this is cost 0 or lower, it can't become reversed. Just very good stable for this. This Nino, Important Charm Nino, it's a free 2k backup. 2 copies of this. This particular Nino is on the pick 1 of 3 restricted list. We don't run the other cards, so we're free to use this as we want. But there are a couple choices in the... I made another video talking about like the alternate options you could do to replace this card, and that came in the movie set as well, so check that out if you want. Daily Routine Nino Nakano is a 0/0500. On play, it gets 2 different effects. You can pay one. You can discard a Nino to draw a card, and you can discard a card to top check the top card of your deck. The level of that character, or the level of that card revealed, you can add back a character equal to that or lower from waiting room to hand. 2 copies of this Frank Words Nino Nakano. That is bigger than I thought it was going to be. It's a 0/02k. On play, you can return 2 quints from your waiting room back to your deck. This is more useful with the other level 3 because you get the triggers off. Then you get to give a quince +1 soul till end of turn. Try to push a little harder. And when a climax gets played, you can bounce this back to hand to give a character 1000 power, and the top check effect of the look at 2 cards from the top of your deck on attack. Put 1 of them back on top of the deck, put the rest into your waiting. 2 copies of this Quintessential Quintuplets Nino Nakano, 1 of the 2 Brainstormers. When your other character's battle opponent becomes reversed, you get to give an extra bonus 500 power to a quince. Really nice. Brainstorm, pay 1, rest this card, mill 4. For each climax, you get to salvage back a character. The other Brainstormer is a spammable one. This has 2 effects. Act, rest this card to give a character a quince 1500 power. Really nice if you're trying to get over some stuff. And a spammable Brainstormer of pay 1 stock, mill 4. For each climax, you get to perform the following action, which is salvage back a character and discard 1 card. Which you don't mind that effect. If you need to be able to pay out, if you've built up too much stock and it's not clean, you need to get some standbys out of your stock. Being able to just spam and pay this is really nice. The particular effect of being able to salvage back a character and then discard 1 card afterwards is really useful to be able to set up your standby combo plays. So being able to drop the targets from your hand back into the waiting room is really nice. 2 copies of that. 4 copies of Tsundere Nino. This is from the trial deck. If your hand has 5 or more cards, it gets 2k power, making her a 35. At the beginning of your encore step, if you don't have another rested character, you can pay 1 stock to rest her. 2 copies of Ina Yukata Nino is a 0/01k. If you have another character with Nino, she gets 1500 power, making her 5. When this is put into your waiting room from the stage, you can discard a card. If you do, look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck, choose a Nino amongst them, add it to your hand, put the rest into your waiting room. You get to discard standby targets from your hand. You get to mill. Basically, you're going to like dig towards your other level 0 combo, like pieces like the one that bounces back to hand or daily routine. And then you're just going to try to mill a whole bunch of your standby targets with this effect. It's really cool. And then obviously, like I said, 4 copies of Unstoppable Feelings, which is for the level 2. And 4 copies of Declaration of War Over Love, which is for the new level 3. Like I said, there's several interesting combinations you can do. And this is mostly just, like I said, to future-proof if the level 3 Nino were to get hit. Like, obviously that would affect the consistency greatly. And, you know, if that happens, honestly, a lot of the cards will probably end up going down in price, which is really cool. But there's no guarantee on that either. So, like I said, I'm just doing this just for the hell of it. I'm still going to be changing up several cards, even if I still run the other level 3. I'll definitely be swapping out for, like, the early plays, the backup that lets you burn, the new standby target, and everything. It's really cool. And yeah, that'll do it for this video. There's other good utility level zeros as well. You just have to choose what you want if you see any particular ones in the movie set that you want to upgrade yours with. Just saying, you know, do what you want, but this is kind of what I'm doing for now, just in case the ban list decides to hit. With that, thank y'all very much for watching, and please like and subscribe. If not, hey, thanks for stopping by to check it out. More quintuplets decks are on the way. Believe me, with the movie set, I have a lot of stuff I'm cooking. Let them cook. And with that, we will see y'all on the flip side. Peace out for now.